On November 21st, 2025, a frontline Indian Air Force Tejas fighter jet crashed during a live performance at the Dubai Air Show, and the pilot tragically lost his life. This wasn't just an accident. This was a catastrophic blow to India's biggest geopolitical ambition. At the exact moment when India was about to transform itself from a weapons buyer into a weapons seller to the entire world. Think about this for a second. Just 24 hours before the crash, India's government was telling the world that viral videos claiming the Tejas had technical problems were fake. They said everything was fine. And then the aircraft literally fell out of the sky. How did this happen? What was really going on behind the scenes? And, most importantly, how will this incident affect India's Tejas program, defense exports, and international confidence? Let's break down what's really happening here because this is about way more than just one aircraft. Let me take you back to November 19th, 2025. 2 days before the crash, India's Press Information Bureau, basically the government's official fact-checker, released a video. They were debunking claims on social media that the Tejas had an oil leak. They said those videos were fake propaganda. They said it was just routine maintenance. They said everything was perfectly fine. But here's the thing. India was at the Dubai Air Show. Not just any air show. The third largest aviation exhibition in the world. Over 1,500 companies, 180 aircraft from 150 countries, military generals and weapons buyers from Egypt, Malaysia, the Philippines, Argentina, countries that India was desperately hoping to sell fighter jets to. And India was flying the Tejas. Live demonstrations in front of the world. Why did the Indian government feel the need to quickly release a video saying everything is fine? Why did they feel the need to tell people nothing is wrong just 24 hours before something went terribly wrong? That's question number one. Now, let's understand what was actually at stake at Dubai. India set a massive goal. By 2029, India wants to export 50,000 crore rupees worth of defense equipment. That's about $6 billion. In simple terms, India wants to triple what it's currently exporting. And the Tejas fighter jet was supposed to be the crown jewel of this plan. Egypt wanted 20 of them. Argentina wanted 15. The Philippines was interested. Even Malaysia might reconsider. They had rejected India's Tejas back in 2023 for South Korea's FA-50. But people were thinking maybe things could change. Do you understand how much money we are talking about here? The Egypt deal alone could be worth $1 billion. Egypt is also helping India set up a maintenance facility there. This is not just about selling planes. This is about India becoming a global defense manufacturer. Not just buying from Russia, America, and France anymore, but selling to the world. That's what the government was betting on. That's why India sent the Tejas to Dubai. That's why the Surya Kiran aerobatic team, India's elite aerobatic pilots, were flying alongside it. They wanted to show the world, look, India can make world-class fighter jets. But on November 21st, everything went wrong. During the show, the Tejas was performing a tight high-G turn, a move where the jet turns very sharply while fighting strong gravitational force. This maneuver is usually done high in the sky because the pilot needs extra space to recover if the aircraft loses speed or control. But this time, it was being done at very low altitude, just a few hundred feet above the ground. At that height, even a 1-second delay can make recovery impossible. Around the world, famous teams like the US Blue Angels and the UK Red Arrows follow strict rules and never perform such sharp maneuvers below a certain safe height. That safety margin simply was not available here. As the Tejas tried to pull out of the turn, it failed to regain lift. The jet dropped fast, hit the ground, and exploded into a massive fireball. The pilot, squadron leader Anant Sharma, died. The aircraft exploded in a ball of flame in front of thousands of international military generals, defense ministers, and weapons buyers. And here is where the timing becomes absolutely crucial. This is not just tragic, this is geopolitically catastrophic. Because it happened at the exact moment when India was trying to convince the world that Indian-made defense equipment is reliable, world-class, and ready for export. Instead, the world just watched an Indian fighter jet crash during an international demonstration. Think about this from the perspective of Egypt's defense ministry. They were considering buying 20 Tejas fighter jets. Now they're asking, is this aircraft safe? Is this company reliable? Should we buy from India or go with proven options like France's Rafale or Sweden's Gripen? The crash just answered that question for them. Same with Argentina, same with the Philippines. All of them are now thinking twice. But this crash is not happening in isolation. It comes at a time when India is under a rising threat from China's J-20 stealth fighter. And that changes everything. Let me explain what this means. Right now, China has over 300 J-20 stealth fighters. These are fifth-generation combat aircraft, the most advanced fighter jets in the world. By 2026, China will have 500 of them. By 2030, China's plan is to have 1,000 J-20 stealth fighters. 1,000. Meanwhile, what does India have? India currently operates 31 fighter squadrons. The requirement is 42 squadrons. So India is already 11 squadrons short. That's about 200 aircraft short. And those are mostly 4th generation and 4.5 generation fighters. India has zero, absolutely zero 5th generation stealth fighters. Not a single one. India's own indigenous 5th generation fighter called AMCA won't even enter service until 2032. That means between now and 2032, there's a massive capability gap. China will be flying 1,000 of the world's most advanced stealth fighters. India will still be flying older, less advanced jets. But wait, there is more. Pakistan just signed a deal to buy 40 Chinese J-35 stealth fighters. These are incredibly advanced 5th generation jets specifically designed to take down 4th generation fighters like what India is flying. So now, India is facing stealth fighters from both directions, from China in the north and from Pakistan in the west. And the Tejas crash ruined India's only chance to solve this problem quickly. Because when India's indigenous aircraft keep crashing, it tells the world, and more importantly, it tells potential technology partners that India's aerospace sector might not be ready for advanced technology transfer. Let me take you back to India's bigger picture for a moment. 11 years ago, India was importing 65 to 70% of its defense equipment. India was the world's largest defense importer. Every rupee spent on weapons was going to Russia, America, France, Israel, everyone except India. But then in 2014, India made a strategic decision. Under the Atmanirbhar Bharat policy, which means self-reliant India, India decided to start making its own defense equipment. No more dependence on foreign suppliers. Build it in India, design it in India, export it to the world. And you know what? It actually started working. Between 2014 and 2024, India's defense production jumped from 46,429 crore rupees to 1.27 lakh crore rupees. That's a 174% increase in just 11 years. India went from being a net importer to now producing 65% of its own defense equipment domestically. India built INS Vikrant, the first Indian aircraft carrier ever built completely by Indians. India designed and built the Arjun tank. India developed the BrahMos missile, which is so fast and so advanced that other countries are buying it from India now. India made the Astra air-to-air missile. India's Akash air defense system is getting exported to countries around the world. This was genuinely one of the greatest industrial transformation stories happening anywhere on Earth, from complete dependence to genuine self-reliance. But then there is the Tejas, India's flagship fighter jet, the symbol of Indian self-reliance in aerospace. And here is the brutal reality. The Tejas took 35 years to develop. 35 years. From 1983 to 2018 just to get it to initial operational clearance. Then in March 2024, a Tejas crashed due to engine seizure in Rajasthan. And now, in November 2025, another Tejas crashed at Dubai during an international demonstration. Two major crashes in less than 2 years. Do you see why this matters so much? The Tejas is supposed to be India's answer to the rest of the world. It's supposed to prove that India can design and build world-class fighter jets. But instead, the Tejas is proving exactly the opposite. It's proving that maybe India is not quite ready yet. Now, here is where we need to talk about what happens next. Because the Tejas crash is going to have consequences that ripple through India's defense strategy for years. First, the immediate consequences. Egypt is probably going to reconsider and maybe buy Rafales from France instead. Argentina might go with Gripen from Sweden. The Philippines might stick with what they know. And Malaysia? Malaysia is definitely not reconsidering. That's roughly $2 billion in potential export revenue that just evaporated. But here is the second and most serious consequence. The Tejas crash undermines confidence in the entire Make in India defense narrative. You see, India's defense transformation is not just about making stuff in India. It's about India becoming a global player, a country that other countries respect and want to partner with on defense matters. When investors see the Tejas crash, what do they think? They think maybe India's defense industry is not as mature as they are claiming. Private companies that were thinking about investing in India's aerospace sector, they're going to think price now. They might move their investments to countries like South Korea or the UAE instead. And when foreign countries think about technology transfer agreements with India, like sharing advanced technology for making better aircraft or missiles, they are going to be more cautious. Why? Because if India can't reliably operate its own aircraft, how can we trust India with our advanced technologies? This is a cascading effect. One crash leads to lost exports. Lost exports lead to less investment. Less investment means slower technology development. Slower technology development means India can't keep up with China's pace of innovation. Let's also talk about what India can do to fix this. Because there are options, but they're all expensive and they all come with political costs. Option 1. India could accelerate purchases of foreign aircraft. India could buy more Rafales from France or F-35s from America. But here's the problem. Buying foreign aircraft goes against the entire Atmanirbhar Bharat narrative that India has been promoting. Option 2. India could try to accelerate AMCA development. India could throw more money and resources at the AMCA program, trying to get it operational by 2028 or 2029 instead of 2032. Option 3. India could accelerate the Tejas Mark II variant. Instead of waiting for AMCA, India could develop an advanced version of Tejas with stealth features. But again, this takes time. And time is the one thing India doesn't have. The truth is, there's no perfect solution here. India is facing a structural problem that can't be fixed quickly. China got a 20-year head start on fifth-generation aircraft development. By the time India's AMCA is ready, China will have already perfected the J-20 and moved on to sixth-generation technology. This is the kind of unfair advantage that often decides military battles between powerful countries. But here is what's really important to understand. The Tejas crash is not a failure of India's defense workers or engineers. The people at HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, who design and build the Tejas are incredibly talented. They've done something genuinely remarkable. They have built an entire fighter jet from scratch using Indian technology and Indian knowledge. The real failure is strategic. It's the failure to make rapid decisions, to move fast, to cut through bureaucracy, and to invest heavily in indigenous aerospace development years ago. If India had prioritized aerospace development the way China did, if India had invested massively in this sector 20 years ago, then maybe India would have competitive stealth fighters by now. But India did not. India was too focused on importing, too focused on short-term solutions, too focused on bureaucratic processes. And now India is paying the price. Not in terms of one crash or one lost export deal, but in terms of strategic position in Asia. In terms of India's ability to balance against China's military might. In terms of India's future credibility as a defense power. Now I want to ask you something. If you were in the Indian government's shoes, knowing all of this, what would you do differently? Would you accelerate indigenous aircraft development? Would you buy more foreign jets? Or would you try to do both at the same time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's discuss this. And if this video gave you new insights, don't forget to subscribe. It really motivates me to create even more for you. Jai Hind.